This lesson will describe why it is important to know the trip coverage. The coverage of data is a WCPFC reporting requirement. The vessel trip is the main unit in tuna fishery data collection, but for one reason or another, the data available from vessel trips may not represent all vessel trips actually undertaken. The data for vessel trips provided represents a certain proportion of all vessel trips actually undertaken. It may be 100%, but currently in most fisheries it is not complete. That is, it is less than 100%. Coverage is the term referred to as the proportion of data provided compared to the actual activities of the fleet. We often assume that processing logsheet data and producing reports provide us with an indication of the actual catch and effort in the fishery. This is wrong. There are many reasons why logsheet data may not have been received and/or processed. For example, a vessel may have conducted a trip but not completed a logsheet. A vessel may have completed a logsheet but not provided it to the fishing company. A logsheet may have been lost between the vessel and the fishing company. A vessel may have completed a logsheet, passed it on to the fishing company, but the fishing company has not forwarded it on to the fisheries division. A logsheet may have been lost between the fishing company and the fisheries division. A vessel may have completed a logsheet, passed it on to the fishing company and then on to the fisheries division, but for some reason the logsheet was not processed. If any of these situations arise, which is surprisingly common, the processed logsheet data will not represent the actual catch and effort, and this makes it very difficult to get an idea of what the actual catch and effort was. Coverage allows us to account for the missing information. It also allows us to raise incomplete data to produce an estimate of complete data. The difficulty is, how do we find out the coverage? Determining coverage is not a simple task. There is usually some work involved. Base data is the type of data collected that unconditionally represents 100% coverage of fishing activity. The base data are usually not collected, since collection of base data may not be a condition of license. There may be compliance problems in the provision of base data, or there may be resource problems in collecting the base data. The base data used to determine coverage must be reliable and complete, and this is often not the case. Select an appropriate type of data as the base data for determining coverage. For example, the annual fishing trip and port visit log. Note that only one type of data needs to be selected. Concentrate your efforts on ensuring that complete and accurate base data are provided. This can be achieved through compliance with a legal provision of data and adequate follow-up with respect to non- and misreporting, and allocating the necessary resources, both human and equipment, to the collection and management of base information. If this is done correctly, then the coverage of all other types of data can be determined. The target for data collection is 100% coverage to account for every day of every trip undertaken by all commercial and non-commercial vessels targeting tuna. That concludes this lesson.